What's up? What's up? I'm here. Let me fix the camera while nobody's watching. Pretty good. I'd say it's pretty good. I also gotta clean my dirty glasses. Hello. How's it going? I'm gonna post this on the X, I think I have something in my throat. Holy moly. We'll copy that. And then here we'll go to X. Posted. Okie dokie. There we go. It's all posted now. Okay, I'm gonna grab my phone. I was gonna have it charge, but it keeps going off. So I'll be right back. Don't say anything. Alright, he's back. I'm back. Because I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. Michael Jackson said that. We're going to be talking about the Michael Jackson movie here in this video. Trying to get comfortable. It's been a hot minute, hasn't it? Since the last live. And by hot minute, I mean like 1 week ago. 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry. The CinemaCon Live was the last. I was also supposed to go live on Sunday, but me and the real Hayden decided we're just going to keep the after show to the end of the year or the end of the season of television. Which, speaking of, I have not seen the latest Boys episodes, so I will be watching. You guys ever tried the creamy coconut Dr. Pepper? It's by far the best flavor. I don't know why. I feel really glitchy. Let's see what I look like. Don't. Okay, I'm not glitchy. I'm good. I might. All right, if you're clicking on this video, you know exactly what we're doing. We're ranking the spring movies. It's officially May. It's May 1st today. Actually, today is May 1st. And we already got our first May movie, Hokum. That's going to be a review coming to you guys today because I loved Hokum. I can't wait to talk about it. Speaking of, while I'm sitting here, I should probably upload my out of theater reaction that I haven't done yet. So let's do that real quick. You guys got to watch the video. You can't get spoiled. All right, we'll be uploading the Hokum out of theater reaction, so you guys can check that one out. But Hokum, first May movie, first movie of the summer movie season. I will be putting out a review today. And I know if you guys watched my Resident Evil reaction, I said I was going to put up my Avengers review tomorrow or yesterday. I didn't. I went home, or not home. I am home. I went to my mom and dad's house. And I caught up playing 2K for like 4 hours with my brother, so I didn't get to film the video before work. So that's on me. It's on me. The Avengers video is probably going to be coming out very soon. But yeah, spring movies so far. 2026 has been a very disappointing year for me. The only few movies that has been, whoops, let me do that. That has completely like not disappointed me. There's only a few. A lot of them are disappointed. We're going to be using this bottom half of the tier quite a bit today. I got to put the title for this short real quick. Here we go. Should be uploading. But yeah, it's been a very disappointing first half to the year. I felt really weird in January. I've touched on this a little bit on this channel. Excuse me. Where I just wasn't feeling like myself. Like January, February, I watched a lot of movies and like I just didn't really connect with any of them. I started to feel more like myself in the middle of March, and then obviously we got March and April. But maybe that's just because like the quality movies weren't as high as I was hoping them to be. But yeah, there's a lot of movies here that I liked, quite a few that I liked, quite a few that I did not like at all either. The tiers for today's list. We got potential best of year, great film, pretty good, it's aight, bad, and then absolute dog poop. Those are the tiers. I also will be taking questions, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll take 10 at a time. Actually, we'll do 10 and then we'll do 12 because there's 22 movies that I saw in the first chunk of the year. I also saw 23 because I saw Hokum last night, so I cannot wait to talk about that movie because I loved it. But yeah, let's excuse me. I woke up at 10 o'clock, got up, popped in the shower, just chilled, and did y'all see that too? Did y'all see that too? I'm not gay. Now I'm ready to go. I'm a little bit tired. We're gonna stave it off. All right, tier list starts with Mike and Nick and Alice. A movie that I don't have a review on. The only time I talked about it on the channel was during the March ranking. I'll also like movies that I have reviews for and talk about a few more times. I won't stay as long on to. But Mike and Nick and Alice, I only talked about in one video, so I'll talk about that for a minute. I thought it was good. It's got Vince Vaughn, James Marsden, Eliza Gonzalez, I think her name is. Let me look up the movie, make sure I'm getting the actress's name right. Yeah, Eliza Gonzalez. The best parts of this film, by far, were where we're just sitting around with... Also, there's two Vince Vaughns, because he plays dual roles. But we're sitting around with Vince Vaughn, James Marsden, and Eliza Gonzalez. Everybody has fantastic chemistry with each other. The jokes do land because I was chuckling my nuts off the entire time. I thought it was genuinely a pretty funny movie. Some of the action sequences are good. I will say, like, the plot itself maybe is a little bit too convoluted. Some of the ideas here don't necessarily work with me. It's also a movie that I don't remember too much about, honestly, and that's not a good thing considering the movie came out like a month and a half ago. So, like, I remember the film. I remember certain sequences. I barely remember the plot. I do remember, what's his name? There's an actor in here. Oh, Jimmy Tatro as Jimmy Boy is hilarious at certain chunks of the movie. So I do remember that, but I don't remember any like specific plot details, or I don't remember any. I remember specific words. I remember specific sequences, but not a lot of specific plot details. And then the ending is kind of like, oh, we're going to leave you guessing. And it's like, just close it out, dude. So Mike and Nick and Alice, I thought was pretty good. I'm going to put it on the pretty good tier. I had a good time with it, but like there's a lot holding back from great film. But it is something made for me that I had a good time with. Speaking of bad endings, good luck, have fun, don't die. This movie's perfect. Excuse me, up until the very ending. The very ending of this film kind of ruins the movie for me. Besides that, like, it's so fun. You have a great cast here led by Sam Rockwell. Excuse me, I'm going to mute myself really quick. Dang. I think I had something stuck in my throat and it keeps distracting me while talking. All right. Anywho, Sam Rockwell, great in this movie. He's hilarious. You also got people like Michael Pena. I'm looking up this movie too, so I can remember every person in the cast. Michael Pena is great in here. You got Haley Lou Richardson, who is like a big standout for me. Juno Temple, Zazie Beetz was great in this movie as well. Asim Chaudhry, I believe I'm saying that right. He was a big standout and big laugh out loud moments. And it's the type of film that you go watch. And I didn't really know anything about the plot, but it's a time travel movie. And it is just one of the most fun, bonkers, insane sci-fi movies you'll ever see. It constantly kept me guessing. I had no idea where the film was going at any point while watching it in the theater. I thought it was just so exciting, so different than anything I've ever seen. Now, of course, when I rewatched the film, it didn't hit as much because, you know, I knew where it was heading, but watching it unfold in the theater, learning like what's happening, it's more unique than anything I've really ever seen. The action's a lot of fun. It gets completely carnage filled in the back half of the movie. So, like, I love Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I'm begging for a sequel specifically because this would be potential best of the year if they stuck the landing, which they didn't because they decided to try to pull the rug out from under our feet and be like, we didn't actually save the world. There's something else happening. And then as soon as we're about to get something else happening, it ends. And I'm like, that it's just not satisfying at all. So the ending is just awful. And I want a sequel now. Everything other than that, like it would be potential best of the year. It's going in great film because of that. You know, screw it. It's going in potential best of the year. It's a top tier movie. There's not going to be a lot of them here. And it's just like a movie that on that first viewing, I've never seen really anything like it. And then we got Scream 7, the movie that divided all horror fans. I liked it, you know. There are things of this movie I really liked. Specifically, the kills here. They are some of the best inside of this entire franchise. Just so brutal, gnarly. There's one like with a beer tap. It's awesome. Obviously, it's a lot of fun to see Sydney back. A lot of fun to see all the cast back. Even though I feel like Matthew Lillard was definitely phoning it in, it was fun to see him in certain sequences. Excuse me, I had a burp. Besides that, like I had a good enough time with the Carnage Candy, which is like what you go to slashers for. The movie, like on a story element, isn't compelling at all. The mystery is not compelling in the slightest. The film does a yikes, I'm so sorry. The movie does, what was I gonna say? Does something. The movie, like I said, doesn't lead up the mystery very well at all. And all the characters make like the dumbest decisions in the world. Like at one point, Sydney is at like a studio with Gail and she finds out that Ghostface is after her. So instead of waiting 3 seconds for Gail to get the car keys, Sydney decides to hoof it on foot. Like just run down the road to where? I don't know, but she just runs. And then Gail's like, oh, Sydney ran. I'm not even going to try to go get her anymore. So, number one, you could have waited 3 seconds. Your daughter was fine. You're not reaching your daughter on foot, and you don't reach your daughter on foot at all in that sequence. So just dumb things like that throughout this entire movie. And then you got to talk about the reveals just being awful. Like I said, no mystery. One of the guys, I was in the bathroom during the hospital sequence. So one of the killers, I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Bad. And it's like bafflingly like bad. Like where I don't think it's my least favorite in the Scream franchise, but like it's by far the worst made and by far the one with the least amount of care. So Scream 7, it's not bad because of the Carnage Candy. I had a good enough time. I walked out of the theater like, okay, that's fine. It's aight. It's not going anywhere above it's aight. Then we got The Bride, which is our first edition in absolute dog poop. I hated The Bride. I thought it was pretty awful. Now the cast is great. The cinematography I saw in IMAX, several sequences was like, oh, that looks great. But like it's some type of movie that the IMAX experience just can't save. It's pathetic. The amount of people that are all like, oh my gosh, you didn't like the movie, so you're a misogynistic sexist that's gonna go to hell. Oh my gosh. And like, why? Because I didn't like a movie because it was directed by a woman? No. I didn't like the movie, not because it was directed by a woman. In fact, I was very excited for that. And in fact, I think this movie shows that Maggie Gyllenhaal can be a good director, but she takes too many ideas where she wants to do a film about women rising up in like the 40s. I think this movie's set in the 40s, but she wants to do a movie where the women rise up. She wants to do a mobster movie. She wants to do a creature feature. She wants to do a romance. And every time that we go dive into one of those aspects, it just moves on quickly because it wants to do too much. It can never settle in anything. And like, there are moments here where I'd be like, it's pretty good. There are moments where I'm like, is the movie starting to win me back a little bit? And then it always just lost me by doing something so stupid, specifically with the Jessie Buckley stuff or the, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Mary Shelley stuff that Jessie Buckley does. Now, don't get me wrong. Jessie Buckley, great actress. Very happy she won that Oscar. I'd be really mad if she didn't. But what she does here is Mary Shelley just pops in her body every now and then and just starts spouting off random nonsense. And it's like, why? Like, it makes no sense. And it takes any emotion or any feeling I have out of any scene and just like, this is just annoying. So I left the theater like glad it was over. I went, put out my review, and I got called a misogynistic sexist. So that's awesome. It's absolute dog poop. Jake's here, yay! Yay! All right, yes, sir. My brother is finally in the chat, and then he's gone. I have no viewers. He's gone. All right. We got Crime 101, a movie with a stacked cast. You got Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo, Barry Keoghan, absolutely stacked cast. Nobody's given an Oscar-worthy performance here, but they all do their jobs. I liked every single one of the performances in this movie. The movie is much slower than you fully expect it to be, where like you think of a heist thriller, you think it's going to be tense. Instead, like, we spend a lot of focus on the characters, and the movie is 2.5 hours long, which it definitely should have been way shorter than that. Specifically because we get like 3 sequences of Mark Ruffalo doing yoga. And I'm like, who asked for Mark Ruffalo doing yoga in 3 different sequences with like no effect on the story whatsoever? But besides that, I thought it was very good. The couple of action sequences we got are shot very well. The finale is just really tense, edge of your seat stuff. I was a little not satisfied with the ending because like it kind of just forces like a good ending on our characters where I feel like there shouldn't be. But great cast. Some tense action sequences, shot really well. Could have been a little too long, but besides that, I think it is pretty good, and it's going above Mike, Nick, and Alice. Oh, Jake is not gone. Hi, I ain't gone. I did. What did you do? What did you do, Jake? What did you do? All right. You know what? I know this is like pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. All right. Be honest with you guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. So we're gonna turn on the Zach D Films video. And you're gonna watch Zach D Films video while I run to the restroom really quick. You know what? You can watch my The Boys episodes and halfway into the latest season of The Boys, also known as the final season. All right, I apologize. We do have 2 viewers. I will be right back. Season 5. Here is my review of episode 3 and 4 and my thoughts on the season halfway thus far. Before I dive in, if you would subscribe, hit that big like button down below, the bell so you never miss another Boys review, and the most important part, my favorite part, comment down below. Tell me what are your opinions on the final season of The Boys thus far. And with that said, it's worth mentioning I had a dream last night. I had a really weird dream last night that they came out and said there's going to be 3 more seasons of this show. And I woke up, I was like, oh man, I was looking forward for the finale. Now we're just going to have more. And then I realized that it was a dream, and that this is the final season, which is good because I finally watched the latest episode about 20 minutes before filming this. And I gotta say, I'm very excited to see where we end up continuing on. The things I love about the show, and there is a long list of them because I'm a fan of The Boys show. I really enjoy the show. I look forward to Wednesdays, technically Thursdays, for me to watch the new episode. Homelander is losing his mind in this season, and I love it. He is insane. He feels like he's the most dangerous that he has ever been inside of this entire show. Where you start off in episode 1, obviously, and he kills A-Train. You get to episode 2, he's doing all the crazy things, sending Soldier Boy after the boys. And then you get to episode 3, where it's revealed that Madeline from the first season is coming to him as an angel and telling him that he is the Lord and Savior of the world. Now, we only have one Lord and Savior. Here he is. It's this guy right here, Jesus Christ. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. But it's pretty crazy, man, that we're now diving into Homelander, and in episode 4 and 3, after he realized that he is the Lord and Savior, at least he saw in a vision by an angel, that he is holding no holds barred. When he, in episode 3, once he learns that, first thing he does is lay in a tub full of breast milk, which is insane in its own rights. But then in that episode, he beats the living crap out of Ryan and his son. So we're already showing how insane Homelander is. Episode 4, not much happens with him except he gets stuck in that room that Soldier Boy trapped him in, and now he escaped. He is forcing everybody to show the world that he is the new Jesus. Again, only one Jesus. But as a Christian, I watched that, I'm like, But as like a fan of the show, I watch it, I'm like, okay, it makes sense that they would go this direction. I'm not going to get into like the whole religion thing here on this video, but I'll just say Homelander is absolutely insane. Soldier Boy, obviously one of my favorite characters, probably my favorite character in the show. He is quite funny. He was quite hilarious in episode 3. He's a lot of fun to watch. The boys, they're back. Obviously, we love all the characters. Huey, Butcher, Frenchie, MM. Love all them. Kimiko. Now, I'm going to throw this out here. One of my least favorite things from the season, and probably the thing that the one thing I really hate, is how she's talking in this season. And like I said in my last long-length video talking about The Boys Season 5, they did that probably, or I don't know if I talked about in that video, or maybe it was the after show with The Real Hayden. Go check out that live stream. We're going to have one this coming Saturday for episodes 3 and 4. But anyways, I hate how she's talking, if I'm being completely honest, because it feels like they just did that so there could be more emotional weight when either she or Frenchie or somebody bites the dust, which I'm guarantee one of them will. But I feel like we could have done it with hand motion or with sign language is the correct term for it. I hate how she's talking, but it's still fun to see everybody back. She's starting to win me over again the more that we go on. So seeing all of these characters that we love is a lot of fun. Obviously, you have all the other insane soups. You have Rock Hard. You have everybody in the Teenage Kicks. You got Sage back. You got Firecracker back. You got the Deep, Black Noir. You got all of the 7 and the boys, and they're all a lot of fun in this season. Obviously, it's the boys, so the violence and gore and just like blatant, disgusting nature of the show is here. You got episode 2 where it's revealed that Rock Hard is so big because he's in his own jizz. You got like the rest of the show where, I mean, we see people getting tore apart. We haven't really seen that yet, but you still see like the grisly images, people getting beat up, the violence, the action. It's all really shot well, and the gross nature of it really works. This season's also quite funny. I've laughed so much watching the show, whether it's with the Deep and his messed up ideology or the way he is, or whether it's a line spoken by Soldier Boy or an interaction between the characters or just something that just makes me chuckle. I think that like the season's hilarious. The Boys is a genuinely hilarious show. Makes me laugh so much. My favorite thing about this season probably is how the stakes are so high. It feels like a final season. We'll talk about that here more in a minute. But the stakes are at its highest that they have been throughout this entire show. Obviously, we had the virus, and you know what we did with the show. We kind of found a way to take that back, and we'll talk about that here in just a second. But we have that virus. We have Homelander doing what he's doing, going insane. He's holding nothing back anymore. So the stakes are really high, and I'm very excited to see where we go from here. I have theories. Again, stay tuned for the after show of episodes 3 and 4 with the Real Hayden this Sunday night. But I sit back and like I just have theories upon theories upon theories. It feels like we're setting so much up, and I'm just constantly wondering what is going to happen next. What are the writers having in store? What could they possibly do in the finale? And I have a feeling it's going to get to an insane second half of this season. It has so much potential to be the best season in this back half. While the first half of the season, I wouldn't necessarily go as far to say it's the best season. I would go as far to say is I'm enjoying the season, but it's more on par with, there's parts of it that are more on par with the first 2 seasons. There's parts of it that are more on par with seasons 3 and 4, which if you don't know, seasons 3 and 4, I really enjoyed. 1 and 2, thought were just good. But it has potential to finish as one of my favorite seasons. It always finds new ways to keep the story going. Like I mentioned with the virus, like it could be a one and done thing. They have the virus. They could just waltz in there, throw the virus at Homelander, boom, dead, show over. But they keep finding new ways to create problems for our boys, whether it's a new V formula or basically an old V formula, or something to keep the boys or keep the Supes alive, more goals, what they have to do. It's something that keeps it fresh and keeps the season keep going to 8 episodes. Speaking about specifics real quick, episode 4, I think is okay. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I feel like it's the episode that did the least crazy things. I was not a fan of the way the boys were trying to kill each other in episode 4. We knew that the boys wouldn't kill off one of their characters within their own group. And so it just felt like, oh, they're going to fight each other. They're going to find a way to break out of it. Kind of felt a little bit repetitive. I was not a very big fan of that nature. And episode 4 didn't really have as high of the stakes because we kind of have Homelander trapped in this area throughout the entire episode. But I will say one thing I adored about episode 4 was what we did with Starlight and her meeting her dad. It shows what it's really like out there for the people that, like, just the normal people that are forced to, like, put signs of Homelander in their yard and forced to do all these things. But in reality, they just want to live their lives, and they're at risk of going to the freedom camps. And like the whole relationship between her and her dad made me tear up a little bit and had some great emotions. That was the great part in this episode. Episode 3, I thought was quite good. There was a lot of great things in that episode. But I will say the episodes are getting a tad bit repetitive. I mean, we've seen throughout this entire show in the past where the episodes kind of have a formula to it. They go to a place, something crazy happens. There's like some messed up soup or some like gross image or something that comes across, and they have to figure out how to get out of it by the end of each episode. Episodes 1 and 2 felt so much different, and then 3 and 4 kind of getting back into the same boys groove. So they start to feel a little bit repetitive. One thing I hate with every passion in my body is a week by week release schedule. I think we should release 2 episodes a week, if not more. And the reason why is because you get episodes 3 and 4 where we're just slowly advancing the story, slowly learning some things. And then like we're not really getting anywhere, and we have to wait. Like now we're going to be waiting 3 weeks to like fully. I'm not saying like the show has been not getting anywhere. It's gotten places. It's really good. It's getting the story to move on. but it's like at a snail's pace, because especially in episode 4, where you pretty much knew exactly how the episode was going to end, we didn't get anywhere from point A to point B. We didn't get anywhere in the middle there to find out like a big reveal or something that's happening, and it just was like, oh. My mic was muted the whole time, I think. Glad that StreamYard decided to tell me that my mic was muted. I'm back to being unmuted. All right. Alrighty, dighty, dippity doo. We Bury the Dead. This is a movie that I saw at a Marcus Mystery movie. I was hoping the Marcus Mystery movie would be 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I'm really glad it was We Bury the Dead. I honestly liked it more than The Bone Temple. I probably wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't a Marcus Mystery movie, and I quite enjoyed it. It is a zombie film that doesn't have too much zombie action, and that's a big problem. Is when you're watching a zombie movie, you expect a certain level of zombie action, And this film, you didn't get that. You had plenty of looking at zombies, so you just didn't get any of the zombie thrills or chills. But what the movie does well is showing how humanity can be terrible in its grief. You get this one guy grieving his wife, making Daisy Ridley's character do some weird stuff because he misses his wife. The whole film's the premise is about closure, and Daisy Ridley just trying to find some closure with her and her husband. So I thought the themes there all worked. I thought they were all very compelling. The horror of humanity grieving really, really worked for me. Like I said, I wish I had a little bit more zombie action. The finale of the film kind of made me get reminded of 28 years later, the first one, with the zombie giving birth. I was like, okay, all right, kind of repetitive from other movies, but I thought in the end of the day, very surprising movie. I really enjoyed it. It's a pretty good movie. I'm going to put it right here. I think I like Crime 101 just a teensy weensy bit more. Jacob, I was talking about We Bury the Dead. Now we move on to Send Help, a movie that I thought was good. Good enough. I liked it. You got some of the Sam Raimi-isms, how disgusting the movie can be. You see her eating tuna and the camera just zooms in on her mouth. Just squeamish, disgusting stuff. And then obviously you get to the island and all the carnage stuff happens where, boars' heads get chopped off and blood everywhere. And in the finale of the movie, you get eyes poking out of your skulls. So for the first rated R Sam Raimi movie in 25 years, it's effective enough. At times I kind of hoped that would have a little bit more Sam Raimi. A lot of the movie is just sitting on the island talking, which is compelling enough, but it's not I wanted to see more of the Sam Raimi stuff. Excuse me. My big issue with this movie is right when we're in the midst of all that, right when there's all this carnage candy and the two leads are attacking each other and we're going insane, then the movie ends and cuts forward to where the certain person who survives is off the island and we see what's happening. And it's what? Something crazy was just happening and you're not going to show us Sam Raimi? Very, it's something to do with the golf club. Sam Raimi not showing us is very un-Sam Raimi-like. So I somewhat was disappointed by Send Help. I thought it was aight. I'm going to put it, it's aight. It's above. Yeah, I'm going to put it above Scream 7. It's aight. Just aight. Speaking of it's aight, we got Super Mario Brothers Galaxy. It's going on It's Ite, but it's going to be behind Scream 7. It's probably going to be the worst It's Ite movie. I think, like, as a Mario fan, as someone who grew up playing the games, I'm not going to watch this movie and be like, oh, it's bad, because like I see the Easter eggs, I see the characters, I hear the musical cues. The score in this movie is phenomenal. I think the animation and voice cast is quite great. Besides that, like the story element, it's for the TikTok generation, you know, the kids that want to take their cell phones and just all the time. It got a weird Instagram notification. Speaking of that generation, like kids that, you know, are incapable of sitting down and watching a movie. But it's that kind of movie. It's so fast paced to where I honestly didn't really get anything out of the movie. I left the film and I'm like, I had a good enough time with that. But it's also a movie that I barely had a good enough time with. Every sense of entertainment I got was just the bare minimum. Like, oh, look, it's a musical cue. Or, oh, look, we got Yoshi. But the rest of the movie is just, it's not that effective. You hit a certain time and it's just like bang, 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 bang. And you're like, okay, all right. This film, I don't really feel, excuse me. I don't really feel any emotion or literally anything at all to this movie because we just want to rush it so much. But I had a good enough time in the movie. It's Ite. It's Ite. It's like the definition of this tier. My brother says movie is buns. I disagree. Or somewhat. I kind of disagree. I kind of agree. It's Ite. The tier speaks for itself. Normal is an action movie that I heard a lot out of South by Southwest. I walked into it hoping that I liked it, hoping that I wouldn't be disappointed by it, like I was with the first Nobody. And I walked out of the movie absolutely loving it, dude. The first half of the movie is a little bit slow. We have some pretty terrible dialogue, some pretty awful ADR in the film. But once you get in stride with the film, once you get in stride with what's happening and learn the actual true story of the movie, like I loved it. I loved it. The action is brutal. It's all shot very well. The lighting is great. Bob Odenkirk is very fun in here. You can see people's heads explode, blood going everywhere. It's violent. It's brutal. The overall plot is like so shocking to where like it hits a certain point and I could not have told you anything about this movie or literally anything about the plot. But then once you learn the plot, like I'm not going to say anything here because it was so surprising, such a unique story. And it kind of has a little bit of a mystery here. And I think the mystery personally was pretty compelling. So Normal is just a movie that honestly I quite loved. And it ends in like an awesome shootout. So great action, very compelling story. Like I said, the first half a little bit slow, but don't let that lose you because once it hits a point, it's great. So it goes on. Great film. It is a great film. Ready or Not 2. Here I come. It's thinking of which one of these. I'm going to put it on pretty good. I'm going to put Ready or Not 2 on pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to keep it right there. I'm going to keep it at the bottom of pretty good. It is nowhere near close to the original Ready or Not. The original Ready or Not, my favorite radio silence movie. I watched it for the first time in preparation for this movie, and I absolutely loved it to death. I absolutely adored the first Ready or Not. Now, Ready or Not 2 kind of doesn't have the same magic. Yeah, I like the chemistry between Samara Weaving, Catherine Newton. Almost forgot her name for a second. I love their chemistry. I just love the relationship between the two. It has a very good supporting cast. While not being as good of a supporting cast from the first movie, like the first movie has a top tier supporting cast. This one's fine, has some funny moments. It takes the first movie and everything's bigger. Everything is not better, but has bigger set pieces, bigger action, bigger explosions, more people exploding. So it's like it's a nonstop thrill ride that is entertaining at the least. Like, even if nothing else about this movie worked, it is very entertaining. I also think the finale of the film kind of found a way to keep the franchise fresh, unique, and like I had the biggest grin on my face. I'm like, okay, all of the flaws this movie has, that ending was completely worth it. I think if we get a Ready or Not 3, I will be highly disappointed because that ending was just very satisfying for me. However, like, it doesn't do anything as good as that original does. When you get a sequel, you hold it to the high standards of the first one, and the first one was just awesome. This movie never hits the awesome tier for me. At the very least, for the majority of the movie, I'm like, okay, that was fun enough. It was fun enough. There is a really good needle drop in here, but it's fun enough. Like, I never hit the stance where I'm like, this movie rocks, dude. So it goes in pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Take a drink. Remember, folks, if you guys got any questions, hit me up. "28 years later, The Bone Temple." My biggest disappointment of the year so far. Probably going to stay there for a while. I love the first 28 years later. Look at that. I got the. It's close. I got the poster right here. Mother is calling me. I'm going to answer the phone to my mother. Hello, I'm live streaming. What's up? She was calling to see if I wanted any fish sandwiches. If you guys are new here, every live, I always get a call from her, and she's always asking to bring me food. So I'm not complaining. She's great. 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Like I said, love this movie. I thought it was great. This was my most anticipated movie of the year, above Avengers, Doomsday, and Dune Part 3. Like, I was so excited for this movie going in. Jake says the Devil's Demons peak. And I'm going to put the tier back up. There we go. And there are moments where the movie's great. Jack O'Connell, phenomenal. The Jimmy's great. It is downright terrifying. Certain sequences in the movie just get your stomach turning and honestly made me feel like I wanted to throw up. And it's just such a good performance by O'Connell, who's phenomenal in every movie I've seen him in. And like every movie he's going to be in, I am very excited for in the future. However, I don't feel like the movie itself was fleshed out good enough at all. Where Alfie Williams, who had such a potent character arc in 20 Years Later, is just the scared little kid in this movie. Which, you know, it's fine. He's in a bad situation, but he gets no character arc. You got Ray Fiennes' character in the movie, and he's good throughout the majority of the runtime. But then you get to the ending, and spoiler alert, Jacob's the only one watching live. But if you're watching this like in the future, skip if you haven't seen the movie. 3, 2, 1. Ray Fiennes dies and is played off as a joke. Where one of the Jimmys is like, "Hey, you're not going to survive that," and he's like, "I know, I'm going to die," and like it just plays it off as a joke. And I don't feel any of the emotional connection I did with the first 28 Years Later. I don't know if that's because Nia DaCosta directs, and I'm just not really a fan of her style. Like all 3 of the movies that I've seen that she's directed, I'm not a big fan of. Now, I haven't seen the one with Tessa Thompson. I can't remember what it's called, and I'm kind of into that. I kind of want to check it out, but I haven't seen that one. But I'm not sure if it's because of her direction. I just didn't connect with this movie at all. I do think the devil scene was pretty cool, though. Like after the first watch, I didn't like it. On rewatch, I was like, that's cool. So 28 years later, maybe I gotta rewatch it. Maybe like I was in a bad headspace at the time. But we're gonna put it in. It's gonna be better than that. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it at the top of its site. I think I'd much rather watch The Bone Temple than Send Help again. Like some people have asked me if I wanted to go to the theater to rewatch Send Help, and I was like, not really. Don't really want to rewatch it. Shelter. And I know I said we'd be using the bottom half. I haven't put a single movie in bad. Shelter. It's a Jason Statham movie. You guys know I'm not a fan of Jason Statham movies, even though for some reason I had the Working Man poster up there for the longest time. I don't even know why I did that. Eventually changed it out for the Scream 7 poster, and I got a Project Hail Mary poster sitting over there that I got to put up in my studio. But Shelter was fine. There are a few good action sequences. One in a green room was pretty great. The finale action sequence was pretty cool. There are also some action sequences that very much disappointed me, like a nightclub sequence. I am a horror for nightclub sequences. And the nightclub sequence in this movie was very kind of pathetic, honestly. But it's a movie where Jason Statham has to protect a little girl while being the Jason Statham stuff. And I'm going to kick some booty because I'm Jason Statham. And like, there are moments where it's fine. Like I said, a few good action sequences. There were moments that I had a good enough time with it. It also has all the Jason Statham stuff. It doesn't reinvent the wheel at all. I don't remember a single thing about the story, and it came out in January, which was 4 months ago. So, like, it's aight. I'd honestly, I'd put it at the bottom of its aight. I don't think, like, I gave it 2.5 stars, but, like, there are enough moments in here to not make it, like, the worst Jason Statham movie or, like, even bad. I think it's fine. And if you like Jason Statham movies, you'd like this one, I'm sure. Then we got Lee Cronin's The Mummy, or the Lee Cronin Mummy, or the Lee Mummy Cronin. That's what some people have been calling on Twitter, on the old X. The Mummy, great film. I know that a lot of people are hating on this movie. I love The Mummy. I thought The Mummy was pretty great. Now, once you sit back and think about it, the story, the character ideas, some of the reveals, yeah, it's kind of freaking stupid, okay? Like, why would the hospital allow the demon child to go to the house in the first place when very clearly she's haunted by something? I don't know. Why didn't they bring the daughter to the hospital when they take the toenail and rip a huge chunk of flesh off? I don't know. But watching the movie, I had a great time. It is very gnarly and nasty. It's one of the grossest films I've ever seen. Like, so gross where me and my brother were constantly looking away or like, ugh. It's nasty. It's so nasty. But, like, gross. I also really like the family. I like the family dynamic. I feel bad for them when they lost a daughter. I also think the finale is also quite satisfying, like where it ends up. I like the setting. I like the cinematography. I like the score. It's essentially an Evil Dead movie. Yes. Is it Evil Dead, the Mummy version? Yeah, absolutely. But as a big fan of Evil Dead, it had enough thrills. It had enough scares. It had enough of the carnage candy that I wanted, that I could put the script and the terrible character decisions aside. Like, I had it as my favorite movie of the year. It's definitely going down, but like in the theater after the movie ended, it's the type of movie where I after it was over, I was like, I had a great time with it. I had such a good time with it, and kind of the movie that the more the movie went on, I'm like, this is great. This is great. This is so fun. So it's a great film, despite all the clear flaws that it has. It was a great film. The Rip is a Netflix action movie. My mouth is getting pretty dry. The Rip is. I'm confused. If I'm honestly putting The Rip in great movie. I had a great time with The Rip. It was my favorite movie of January. It's currently like in top 7, 8, somewhere around there in my ranking of the year so far. But The Rip was awesome. It is an action movie starring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. They have great chemistry. Rest of the cast really good in here too. You got Steven Yeun. You got why can't I remember her name? It's The most frustrating thing on earth when I can't remember an actress's name. Why does it not? Why is it not telling me here? She was just nominated. She was just nominated for. Oh, there he is. Or there she is. I'm sorry. Tiana Taylor is her name. I completely blanked on her name. You got Tiana Taylor in here. Just a stacked cast. The tension and setup, I think, was a lot more effective than like the overall action in the film. But like, there was a lot of really tense moments, edge of your seat stuff. As soon as they get to this house, you're like, oh, I know, like it's about to go down. It is able to build tension up really, really well. And the reveals and twists and turns I thought were really effective, even though there might be like a few too many twists and turns in this movie. I thought they were effective. So a Netflix action movie that has pretty decent action, has cast members you like, has some really good tension. I think it's like the only Netflix original film I've seen all year, because like a lot of them I've heard were bad. Like I wanted to watch War Machine. I didn't get to check it out. Not yet anyways. I'm not watching Thrash. I'm not watching Apex because I've just heard awful things about those movies. But yeah, The Rip's the only Netflix movie I saw this year, and it's pretty great. I had a really good time with it, and it's a highly recommend for me. The drama. The drama is a very frustrating movie for me because there is so much from this movie that I loved. I loved a lot of the drama. Like the themes, no spoilers here. We're not saying any spoilers on the drama, but the themes that it decides to explore, nobody would have seen coming. Like from the trailer, you would not guess that that's what the film's about. And I was like, the themes were very, very fleshed out, and the ideas the movie had was great. Robert Pattinson, Zendaya, great in here. They have great chemistry. There is some very tense moments. The finale of the film kind of turns into this like this train wreck. It's a very slow movie, and that's like my big issue with it, is where I could never see myself watching it again. Honestly, I didn't really have a great time with it once we got past like the initial, oh, that's what the movie's about, the themes are good. Then we just spend the rest of the movie like, should I marry her? Should I not marry her? Kind of gets a little slow for me, and at times I personally was bored. So a movie that has these deep themes that I thought were fleshed out really well, a little bit frustrating that the pacing in this film was just atrocious to where I could hardly care by the end of the movie, because I was just like, okay, kind of ready for the movie to get on and keep going. But the drama, I thought, like, it's fine. Again, it's aight. Honestly, it's going at the top of its aight, though, because I thought the themes in the film itself were just pretty great. Just some really good themes for the drama. I still haven't put a movie in bad yet. All right. Hoppers is going to be another film in its aight. Our clear winner of the day. Hoppers, I think, is good. Not pretty good. I think this is where I feel like I should have another tier. Like, pretty good and good are completely different things. Pretty good is like 3.5. Good is like 3. It's aight. It's aight. It's probably around 3. I probably have it right. Hoppers, like, it's good. I liked it. There's a bunch of like chaos in the movie, and like the direction it goes in the third act is like just so insane. You got like a insane Dave Franco voice performance in here that is just so fun. The animation's really good. The emotions like are on par with Up. Like the first 10 minutes of this movie, I already had tears in my eyes. I was like, this is beautiful. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie at times is kind of just annoying, honestly, where a lot of Pixar movies are able to like be very compelling animated films with deep emotions, but like also not be annoying. This movie, like, it's just so hopped up on crack that like everything is just so like so exciting. Like, not saying exciting is a bad thing, but just so too I can't think of the word here. Too hopped up on crack, because like you got like jokes that aren't really funny. You got like weird performances. Like I said, Dave Franco was great in here, but like the way that the movie keeps going on, then how like insane it gets a little annoying at times. There's also a good chunk of it that I did very much appreciate when it got a little annoying or when it got a little crazy. So it's definitely better than Mario. I honestly put it right here though. I think I liked Scream 7 just a little bit more than I liked Hoppers. Undertone. I will give you $5 if you can guess where it's going. I'm kidding. I'm not giving every viewer $5. It's going in. It's it. It's an. It's it. What's going on over here? Dang, bro, wipe your mouth, kid. Get the freak off my screen. Get the freak off my screen. That was inappropriate. Very. Just advertising dirty little kids. It's it for Undertone. It's a movie that if it was a short film, it would probably be all the way up here. But let's be real with ourselves. It would not be all the way up here. It'd be about here. But it's not a short film. It's a long film. The scares are there. The third act, pretty scary. First 15 minutes, pretty scary. The audio stuff is designed really, really good. And I thought that like it was able to get under my skin at numerous occasions in the film. However, there's plenty of problems. Number one, the pacing in this movie is atrocious. When we're not recording the podcast, and for some bizarre reason, we only want to record the podcast in this movie like 10 minutes at a time. So it's like a 30-minute podcast filmed over like the course of 2 weeks, which is just insane to me. But like when we're not doing the podcast, it's her walking around the house, sitting next to her comatose mother, being like, "Mother, I'm so sorry, mommy. I'm so sorry, mommy." And it's like, oh my goodness, dude. It's so boring. And then like, besides that, she's just really not that likable. You got her podcast co-host, who's very nice, and he's like, "Do you want me to come down and help you with your mother?" And she's like, "You stay right there in that stupid little house of yours, Sky." And he's like, "Whoa, chill out." And like, she's so stupid too. There's parts in the movie where random lights in her house just keep flicking on, and she's like, all right. There's a part where she's standing by her mother and she sees an eyeball peeking out from the closet. You know, someone's in there. She just walks over to the closet and just creak, shuts it. That's all right. Yeah, that's okay. There are parts in the movie where like she's just such an unlikable character, and when we're filming the podcast and clearly like creepy things are happening to her after listening to the tape, she's like, "Scott, shut up, Scott, just shut your mouth, Scott. It's clearly all fake. It's clearly all fake." And I'm like, you are literally being haunted right now. There is someone looking at you on the stairs and you're looking right at them and you do not care. She's an idiot. And so it was very frustrating at times to watch this film, while at other times I was very compelled by it and freaked out. So again, it's it. It's another It's it movie. It's better. Where did I put it on Letterboxd? Let me look at my Letterboxd list because I'm trying to remember where I put it. It's loading. Dang, I put Undertone. I'm going to put that's where I put Undertone on the 2026 list. Like every movie right here, like could probably be interchangeable in the list, but I honestly, yeah, I'm going to put it at the top of It's it. I'm going to put it at the top. Move, drama. Dang. Hog the spotlight much? Selfish? All right. How to Make a Killing. And finally, we get our first edition in bad. I didn't like the movie. Not really. Good stuff. Did I just get a comment? It was so good. I even fell asleep during Undertone. Did you fall asleep during Undertone? There were moments that he almost fell asleep. Honestly, moments I almost fell asleep too. I watched it with him, in case you can't tell. Yeah, How to Make a Killing is it's frustrating for me because there are so much things in this movie I could like. Some very tense sequences here. I love Glenn Powell. I think there's a very good cast here. Margaret Qualley's pretty great in this movie. But the movie feels like it doesn't have a soul. The movie is about some dude wanting to kill rich people to become rich, which, I was very excited for the movie. I thought that was a very compelling, obviously it's a premise we've seen before, but very compelling because we got Glenn Powell in this type of movie, but it just doesn't have a soul. And a big chunk of that is like the beginning of the movie, after he takes his first victim, he has an uncle, and the uncle walks over to him and is like, hey, I didn't know you existed, man. I'm so sorry. Here's a job on Wall Street where you're going to be making a lot of money. I did not mean to do that. Where you're going to be making a lot of money, and I'm going to be pretty rich. And he's like, oh. And then he just continues to kill everybody. And it's like, well, he's just not a very likable character. And just the way it was shot, the score, it felt like it's a movie with no soul in it. Where like movies have soul, they have feeling. This one just didn't feel like it had any of it. And at one point I went to the bathroom and walked past the theater of Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And I was like, oh, I wish I was watching that movie. Aw. And I was just like, with How to Make a Killing, there are moments that are good, but I was just like, no soul. No soul in the slightest in this film. So it's going to be on the bad tier. We got 4 more left. I'm going to stretch out my arms. 4 more left. 4 more left. Stretch out my arms. Ooh, ooh. Uns. All right. Sorry. If you're just now tuning in to the Zach D Films channel, I'm weird. I'm also Zach. Subscribe. All right. Project Hail Mary. Everybody's favorite movie of the year so far, except me. It's not my favorite. I thought it was pretty great though. It's going in great. Did I have it above normal? I think I did. Yeah, we're gonna put it right here. I am definitely missing a movie, I feel. Oh no, I'm not. The movie I'm missing is Hokum, and that's a summer movie. Project Hail Mary, great movie. It's a movie with Ryan Gosling, who is phenomenal in here, having chemistry with a rock creature who is phenomenal in here, and you love their chemistry. The film shot well, looks phenomenal. Like, I saw an IMAX because I'm not an idiot, and like it looked phenomenal. Several sequences just completely blew me away and made me say, this is what I go to the movies for. The score, pretty great. The twists and turns in the back half of the movie are pretty awesome as well. That like definitely flipped the movie on its head for me. So like it's a space movie that is very compelling. The story is like very hopeful and brought a tear to my eye. It's a very emotional film. All of these things that like you might think it's going to be a potential best of the year, right? But like my issue with the movie is the more the movie goes on, we feel like we're getting to an ending, and the movie is like it's wrapping up, and then something happens and you have a whole nother hour left of the movie, and then you think it's wrapping up, and then you have a whole nother 45 minutes left of the movie, and then you think it's wrapping up and you have a whole nother 30 minutes of the movie. This movie ended 3 times. And by the time like we get to the second pump fake ending, I was like, I kind of just end the movie. You're ruining the experience a little bit. And like eventually, like we got to the ending, and it didn't ruin the experience. I was like, that's a satisfying ending. Like it did not need to be 2 hours and 40 minutes. However, like it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and I feel like you could have cut a chunk of the movie out. So it left a tad bit of a sour taste in my mouth. However, Project Hail Mary is still really good. I am been very much itching to rewatch this movie, however. And maybe when I do, maybe knowing the endings, I will eventually be able to put it on potential best of the year. But I was very much didn't love it as much as you guys did. We only got 3 movies left. One of the 3 is Cold Storage. It's aight. It is aight. Yeah, I thought Cold Storage was good. It's a movie with Joe Keery. I'm going to have to look it up because I can't remember her name. Georgina Campbell. I knew it. Joe Keery, Georgina Campbell, Liam Neeson. Really good cast in here. They're all pretty good. I wish Liam Neeson bent a little bit more into what he did in The Naked Gun and was just funny instead of, the straight man. but he's Liam Neeson. There are some really cool moments in this movie. It's a zombie film, so there are cool zombie action. There is some pretty shoddy CGI in here, but there is some really good zombie stuff in this movie. The more the movie goes on, the more convoluted the plot gets, the more the ideas are like, okay, not so sure where this is going. The more I'm like, this is like not as fun, and it's more like just kind of convoluted. I also think like the script, the dialogue, the ideas, it's written by David Koepp. It should have been perfect, but it wasn't. David Koepp wrote Jurassic Park. He's writing Disclosure Day, which is one of my most anticipated films of the rest of the summer movie season. But there are plenty of issues here, but I had a good enough time because it is Joe Keery, Georgina Campbell, Liam Neeson against zombies. It's the movie that you would wander down Walmart, down the weird movie aisle, and see it, and you're like, oh, Joe Keery, Liam Neeson, Georgina Campbell, check it out. It's a movie that you'd rent at Family Video, but that's not even a thing anymore, so of course not. But it's aight. It's aight. Michael. I had to. That was pretty good. I ain't even finna lie. That was pretty good. Michael is, I'm sorry, it's going on its aight again. This was last week's big movie release. I'll figure out where I'm going to put it here in a minute. I liked Michael. There are moments in this movie where it's great. Jafar Jackson melts into the role of Michael Jackson. He is phenomenal. You have, why can't I remember? Coleman Domingo, I remembered his name this time, as Joe Jackson, who's giving his best performance of his career, and I think he is phenomenal in this movie. Like, genuinely kind of terrifying. You feel so bad for Michael Jackson within this movie because this is how his actual childhood was. You just feel bad. Also, the concert sequences, phenomenal. The final 15 minutes, I started to do a little bit of this number. I started floating in my seat. It was really dang good, dude. Like, the concert sequences in the phenomenal, and bad, one of the best sequences of the year for me. I do think that the movie dragged a little bit. Michael's a very interesting person. His life is very interesting. But there are times where it focused on the boring stuff, where you got Michael Jackson and he's trying to figure out how to write a song, and we just sitting there while he's humming to himself and clicking his fingers. That part's pretty boring. Chrissy8941 said, heard a lot of people saying Michael Jackson movie is really bad. Is that true? No, it's not bad in the slightest, but there are moments where it like incredibly drags, where like once Michael gets his hair caught on fire, like, that happens because it's part of his life. We now spend 15 minutes of Michael sitting in bed being sad. Like, the pacing in this movie was atrocious, but like 27% on Rotten Tomatoes. Nah, I give it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. I thought it was aight. Better. I'd say better. I'll put it here. I'll put the Michael Jackson movie right here. And our final movie of the first chunk of 2026, the first 4 months, is The Strangers Chapter 3. I like the first 2 Strangers movies, if I'm being for real. Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Think Chapter 1, very tense. Think Chapter 2, entertaining enough. Despite the characters being dumb. This movie takes it way too far. And I thought the first chunk of the movie was quite good, actually. I was like, that's actually like pretty compelling. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen next. And then like it just completely loses me, where you got like the sister looking for Madeline Klein, I think is her last name. I don't know why I can't remember any of the actresses' names today. Madeline Klein, right? Petch. It's Petch. Madeline Petch. I knew it wasn't Klein. But like, she's phenomenal in these movies. Like, all the flaws with these movies, Madeline Petch is great. And what do they decide to do? They decide to make her shut up. Just sit around, be sad, shut up. Pathetic writing. You got the sister who's just like driving into town, and she's got a bodyguard, and the bodyguard's like, hey, you get in that random RV over there the killer is definitely not in, and I'll go find the killer. And so the killer walks up to him, and he's like, put down your gun. And he's like, oh, all right. Puts down the gun, gets shot, killed. The stranger breaks into the RV because, they could have stayed in the car and drove away. But let's get in the RV where the killer's in, right? Dumb. And then obviously you get Madeline Petch's character where she doesn't do anything. It's so pathetic writing. You don't even utilize the one good thing about your movies. And then you get to the finale and she kills the strangers. And then she takes the shotgun and pumps it twice to waste all the bullets. She's like, I'm going to go kill him. And then it doesn't shoot because you just wasted all the bullets because you're a freaking idiot. And then the other guy is like the other stranger, they start kissing, and then she eventually stabs him and kills him. And then she wouldn't even be in this situation because she gets in a vehicle and she drives away. And it takes her 30 seconds to look over in the passenger seat. She's not even out of town yet. She's like, what's over here? And then looks up. Oh my gosh, I'm swerving into a tree. It's stupid. It's unbelievably stupid. And the ending just was so pathetic. It pisses me off. It's absolute dog poop. It's worse than The Bride. It's my worst movie of the year thus far. Honestly, it's probably not going to change. It's crazy because I liked the first two Strangers movies, and then we go to chapter 3, and it's like, dang, this is a bad movie. A bad movie. All right. How many episodes does Born Again have? I just got a post on Twitter. Okay, so it only has 8. All right. So next Tuesday is the last episode of Daredevil Born Again. That's what I thought. All right, here's my tier. Let's go down the list. Strangers Chapter 3, dumb characters, dumb ending. The Bride, really bad decisions. How to Make a Killing. Solace, Shelter, Jason Statham movie. Super Mario Bros. Galaxy movie. It's all right, but TikTok generation movie. Hoppers, little annoying at times. Michael, good concert sequences, but very bad pacing. Scream 7, awful reveals, great kills. Send Help, why cut the carnage candy? 28 years later, The Bone Temple doesn't have that emotional kick that the first one did. The Drama, great themes, boring pacing. Undertone, scary thrills, boring pacing. Cold Storage, weird movie, find at Walmart. Ready or Not 2, not as good as the first, but had good moments. Mike and Nick and Alice, it's good. Plot's not as memorable, but I love the cast. We Bury the Dead, emotional zombie film, wish it had more zombies. Crime 101, really good crime thriller, shouldn't have been 2.5 hours long. The Rip, great Netflix action movie. The Mummy, gross movie. Normal, great surprising action movie. Project Hail Mary, great sci-fi film, just wish it was shorter. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, the best of the year. I'm going to be for real. Hokum is the best movie of the year so far for me. But Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Very good sci-fi film. Loved it. That is the tier list of today. I have to work in 2 hours. I'm going to go watch the latest episode of The Boys. I'm going to give you my Hokum review. We're going to have a good time. All right. Thank you to everybody for watching this live stream, whether you watched live or didn't watch live. See you guys later. Hokum review coming soon. Don't miss it.